Good evening, everyone. How you doing? Seems like everyone's having a bit of a nightmare of a day today. James and Tom are both running a little bit late, so should be with us very shortly. What you done to your shoulder, Cydex? Hey, Stefan. Hey, Lee. Hey, up, Gav. How you doing, buddy? All good? Oh, no. Hey, Tyler. Well, please tell me someone's having a good day. Yeah, I'm doing all right, mate. Thank you. I'm off work at the moment, so just doing some bits and pieces in the animal room. So I've spent most of my day doing that. So everyone making the most of the first stage of the lift of COVID restrictions. Anyone been out and done anything interesting since yesterday? So that is a 4 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot viv that I'm just in the process of trying to do up, make it look all nice and naturalistic and whatnot. So at the moment, it's just a load of layers of expanding foam with some branches shoved in it. I've done all the carving, stuck some flower pots in the expanding foam, and then given it its first couple of layers of filler and sealer. So there's a little bit more work to do in it yet, but it should look really nice when it's done. Hey Ian. Hi Danielle. Yeah, so I did the one for the beardy. I don't know if you've seen the pictures. I think I put them on Instagram. I did the same sort of thing really for the beardy, but a little bit more of a desert setup. This one's going to be for the Taiwanese beauty snake. So hopefully, yeah, it should look really nice when it's done. My apologies, Danielle. I'm used to James being off and doing other bits and pieces at this time of day. Hello, James and Danielle. Your jumper arrived today, so that's going in the post over the next couple of days. So what's the plans for the beardy with Cydex? What are you doing with it? I've got some decorating to do at the weekend. Mum's asked me to come and give her a hand, so I'm going up there driving up to London on Friday, spending the weekend there decorating her living room for her because her and Paula can't manage on her own. Okay, so Tom's arrived. Just going to add him to the stream.
Hello.
Hey, mate, how you doing?
Hello. Yeah, not too bad, mate. Yourself?
Good. How you feeling after your day at work?
Oh, fine. They're asking me to go in early tomorrow, and I said, no, you're all right. Oh, evening, Gav. Evening, Stefan. Evening, Ian, Danielle, Tyler.
Danielle
Everyone
and
that I've
James.
Oh, Danielle and James. Oh, yeah. And yes, Tyler, the shelf does still stand, yes.
So apart from work and having a long day, how are you doing today, dude?
Yeah, pretty well, really. I mean, can't complain at anything else, just long day, really. Nothing really to be overly yay about today, but well, actually, there is because
Okay.
I believe Craig has sent out his spiders today.
Awesome.
I saw a post that he was sending them out today, so if he did or not, I don't know.
Yeah. We'll see what the post brings tomorrow. Speaking of post, your replacement bottle of sauce went in the post yesterday, Cydex. So hopefully that should be with you over the next couple of days. Awesome. I love excavator clay. It's great stuff to work with. So just gave everyone a quick sort of sneak peek. You've seen it already, but it's a beast of a viv, that. It's a few hours worth of work gone into that already, and there's a fair few more hours to go into it yet.
Oh, it does look good. It really does.
It'll be worth it when it's done. I mean, at the moment you can't really see any of the definition because it's all one color. It's just got a base coat on it. But once I've done a little bit more of the detail, and I've got some, like I said, I've got some pots and stuff in there for the live plants and stuff to go in, and then yeah, we'll see how it looks. No, this isn't for the bosque. The bosque's a little bit too small for an enclosure that size just yet. I've got a 3 foot that I've done in a similar sort of way, minus the expanding foam that I've done for the little bosque. This one's going to be for the Taiwanese beauty snake. Thanks, dude. So yeah, so I don't know what's happening with James. I think he's probably still putting together IKEA furniture.
Yeah, with the way that he was sounding, it wasn't looking forward to it.
No. So hopefully he'll be with us soon. But yeah, it's going. So it's all starting to really nicely now.
I suppose then you'll be speaking with Steve soon, won't you?
Yeah. Yeah, so I just need to touch base with James to see where he's at with obviously the themes that everyone sort of picked out, and when he wants to sort of release it all and stuff. I think Steve's pretty much ready to go now. I think he's finished his charity build, so
I believe so.
I'll be good to go whenever Steve's good to go. That'll be fun. I'm just really looking forward to seeing what theme everyone sort of picked.
And that's the thing, I don't even really know the whole list of everything that was picked, or what there is that he's going to make the choice out of.
No, James is the man in the know. He's kept it all very close to his chest, which I suppose, that's kind of the point, is not to release any of the information before we're ready to go. Wouldn't be fair otherwise, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's an opportunity to flex my artistic and creative muscles. So, but yeah, like I say, I'm having a bit of practice in the meantime with the various bits and pieces I've done lately. So it's really coming along nicely in this room. So once it's all done and dusted, I shall probably be doing an animal room tour, I'm sure, at some stage.
But when people say, "Oh yeah, I'll do a room tour," but then the problem with it is everyone says exactly the same thing. Well, I'll hold off because now I've bought this, and then you start doing the room tour, and then all of a sudden something else gets added along the way, and
yeah,
and then all of a sudden you feel then you've got to start from square one again.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would be quite cool. But now that you've got it all obviously in one room.
Yeah. Yeah, the last little step for me, because I've been having some dramas with sort of like natural light for some of the plants. Some of the stuff I've got in here is pretty cool. It will deal with very low level light, but I haven't really got enough ambient natural light for some of the plants that I've got, so I just need to put up some net curtains, because this is right the bit directly behind where the screen is at the moment, and behind where the camera is at the moment. Hey Ebbs, is the window just outside the house, which obviously everyone looks through when they walk past. So I need to sort the windows out, put some net curtains up, so I can open the main curtains and have some natural light in here. But yeah, no, you're right. Every time I think, oh, we're just getting there, we get something else that needs another Viv putting together. The stacks just keep growing higher and higher and higher.
I mean, the way that you've collected a few things over like the last few weeks, should we say?
Yeah, sort of picked up a bit of a pace, isn't it? Yeah. So I suppose variety of animals wise, we've probably got more now than we've ever had before, but probably not the most I've ever had in one go. So yeah, we're just sort of getting back up to the way the collection used to be, which is pretty cool. It's because Sarah's on board now. She's got time to do bits and pieces and get into it and stuff as well. So she's really enjoying it too. Good evening, Diana.
Good evening, Diana. Oh.
That's absolutely not true, Dave. So my mate Dave popped in on his way through earlier in the week, last week, when we were bringing some quite heavy and awkward vivs down from upstairs. So he very kindly offered to give me a hand. So yeah, he's helped me reorganise my animal room.
See, I'm quite lucky. I just have one of Angel's boys here, and it's like, you know, if I need to move something, it's like, grab the other end for me. I mean, a few years and your boys would be all right, I suppose.
Yeah. I think it was the beardy viv more than anything, because obviously we built all the bits and pieces out. I mean, that's a big 4x2x2 viv, and it's not too bad like manoeuvring it down here. But I've got a sort of like a staircase with a bit of a weird twist at the top and not a lot of room to manoeuvre at the top of it. So we got it up there and then filled it up with all the substrate and everything else, and now it weighs twice what it weighed when we took it up there. So it was definitely a job to get it down. But yeah, I think it'll be a little while before my boys are quite up to that sort of challenge. Although the rate they're growing, it wouldn't surprise me. You know, a 5-year-old and he's nearly up to my armpit. Need to stop feeding him. I think the wife's putting Miracle Grow in his water.
We feel like that with feeds every day.
Did my stickers finally arrive? I have one envelope that's turned up today. I'll cover up the address. So if that's your handwriting, I haven't even opened the envelope yet, then yes, they've turned up. Thank you very much.
If not, then not.
I should probably open it, really. It's been one of those days. They sort of turned up, and yes, Ebbs, they are. Thank you, you absolute legend. So yes, more stickers to go on the board.
I just still need to get round to ordering some more drawing pins so that I can stick the stickers up round there.
Oh yeah, that's right. You've got yours put up like into the foam board.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We do have yours, and we have something else.
Oh. What else do you have?
we
Oh, look at that. That's not made it up to the shelf yet, no. That's because the shelf needs to be reorganised now.
we had one of his other ones.
That's amazing.
And yeah, you are right, Wayne. I haven't got them up there yet because I need to rearrange.
Yeah.
Just being a bit lazy with things. I mean, even the box room's still in the room, so.
Cydex said that's just 2 out of 6,000 they've sent. Brilliant.
When the Arctic turns up, I'll know you're good.
Well, I've got so the guys that won my 1,000 follower giveaway on Instagram. I've just received the hoodies for the post today, so I've got to get them shipped out soon. But one of them's going out with a spiderling as well, so I've got to package all that up and get that shipped out. The last few days, not too much. Today's been a bit warmer, but the last few nights have been back down to nearly 0 again. Temperature wise, it's been like sucky.
It's all right. I did hear today we are in for a mini heat wave.
Yeah, I heard that too. I could believe it from today when I had to nip out to Tesco's earlier. When I got in the car, I've been sat in the sun. I mean, I only reckon the outside temperature was about 11 degrees, but sat in the car felt it was cooking. Yes, hoodies, Ebbs. Hoodies. What did I do with them? There we go. Do you want to see? Yeah, I did that yesterday morning. I woke up yesterday morning and the garden was covered in snow. So here we go. This is.
You lot can keep your snow.
This is. I have to move back a little bit for this. This is James and Danielle's hoodie. So I've got the big logo on the front, and then that one on the back. You can get them done in almost any colour. Almost. The only problem I found with them so far is that they shrink a little bit in the wash.
Don't blame you at all, Cydex. And Danielle, we're still waiting, you know, for yours and James's, unfortunately.
Oh, I thought you guys shared your stuff, your winnings. If I'd known they might be fighting over it, I should have got 2 made up and sent them. Really. I no fight though, because look, hashtag wife always wins. There's no contest. It's a bit like that in my house too, to be fair. Oh.
This is why I've now learnt to buy merch in pairs.
Yeah.
Because if I don't,
save future arguments. Yes, Diana. We're just going to wait for James to pop on, and then yeah, sure, you can pop on for a little bit later on. Anything new? Got anything new, Tom?
as I say, nothing new up until these turn up from Craig. And if no one knows what they are, they're Arachnophobia, I believe is how you pronounce it. Sorry?
It's the Miami wolf spiders, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. See, I really like my true spiders, but one of the things I've never kept is wolf spiders. I think I'll have to change that.
If I'd known it, you know, I would have given you a shout about it, because I mean, he was basically still selling them up until only Sunday just gone.
Yeah. No,
and
I
then
didn't.
he's decided.
Right, until you just mentioned it there, I didn't even know he had any.
Yeah, he bred them himself, and he was selling them, and obviously he's decided. He decided, I think it was Saturday night, that you basically had 24 hours, and then whatever was left over, he was just going to keep for himself.
Cool. Yeah, I've seen them like wolf spiders out in the wild and stuff. I've never kept them though. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I'd just try something a bit new. Obviously, I mean, I've got the obviously huntsman, so why not get a wolf spider as well?
Yeah. Yeah, I used to have some like proper crazy, weird and wacky stuff that you just can't find so much anymore. So you used to have the Netcasting spiders. I had one of them.
Yeah,
They're pretty awesome. And then I've kept not really true spiders, but barochelids. So like some of the trapdoor species,
yeah.
like little silver trapdoor and stuff like that. I've had. They're pretty awesome. Um, what else have I kept? Huntsman, yeah, wandering spiders, stuff like that. I quite like my true spiders. Always have done. I think that started from being a like crazy little kid who used to get spiders out the garden and try and keep them in pots in the house. Which, when you've got an arachnophobic mother, isn't very good. It doesn't go down well. Sort of started my passion, really, rebelling against the system from an early age.
I think if I was to ever bring anything like that into the house, then my mum would just go in there while I'm at school and just throw it out.
Yeah, yeah. My mum would have been too scared to do that.
Oh, she probably would have gone in there with like the biggest bag you could ever imagine for something like in the size of that, and she'd just literally like wrap it over it, and it's like it can't get out now. Right, it's going outside.
Oh no, like my mum's fear of spiders. I remember it's not so much, and it's really weird as well actually, because if you look at our Facebook group, there's a picture of my mum holding a Goliath bird eater in a cricket tub. Like, for some reason, tarantulas never bothered her, but tiny little house spiders and stuff like that, she was absolutely petrified. I mean, I remember I'm going back a very very long time now. Um, but she was basically flat out on a makeshift bed on the floor for a little while because she slipped a disc in her back. And she couldn't move. So for the best part of 6 weeks, she was in a completely recumbent position while this issue with the bulge in her disc sorted itself out. And right towards the end of her like healing process and all that sort of stuff, while she was laying on the floor in the living room, a little tiny spider ran across the floor just at eye level with her, and like she bounced off of the floor so much that she slipped the disc back out again and ended up spending almost double the amount of time flat out because of the damage that she'd caused trying to get away from this tiny little spider. Although if you ask her, it was the size of a cat, you know.
Oh, of course.
But I was there. I saw it. It's about the size of your thumbnail.
Hey, some people have extremely large thumbnails.
Yeah.
Generally, they're people in circuses, but we're not going to go down that road.
Oh.
But no, it's quite funny when you listen to most people, you know, even without a full arachnophobia, should we say, you know, they'll see like a house spider and it's like, it was like this big.
Yeah.
It's like, what, this big?
Yeah. So the only time anyone's ever really caught me off guard with that was where were we at the time? Somerset, something like that. But right out rural sticks area. And a friend of ours was like, "We've got this spider in the bathroom. Can you do us a favour and go and get rid of it?" Like, they're not joking. They're saying like it's this big. I'm like, it's never that big, is it? Ever. So I went in to get this spider for him, and it was that big. It was a big mature male cardinal spider. So although it was like very spindly legs and not a particularly big body, it was a good like nearly 4 inch leg span, which for a true spider native to the UK is quite an epic size, to be fair. Oh, that's amazing. You see that from James and Danielle there. Lost a 10-inch sturmite in the house for 7 days. Then one morning jumped out of bed and Danielle screamed, "Stop." Sturmite, turns out, was living under their bed for a week. Sod that. You just imagine that, like getting out of bed in the morning, you know, putting your feet on the floor and giving your toes a bit of a wiggle, and all of a sudden, smash. That is not something you want running around. A phobia of arachnophobics. I love it. That's amazing. So here's an irrational one for you then. You say irrational, unpredictable people. I am clearly not an arachnophobic. I have quite a large collection of various different spiders. But, you know, the one thing that creeps me out every single time without fail are those horrible cellar spiders. You know, the fulcosid species that have got that little shiny teardrop shaped abdomen and then just long spindly legs. They freak me out. I don't know why. They just creep me out. I don't like them. I think it's because they're the ones that are always guaranteed. Every time you go into the garage or go into the shed or anything else, there's always one that ends up right in your face.
No matter how much you try to avoid them.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you...
Hello, buddy. How you doing? So, Mr. Sean Mullen, that tarantula guy is the other guy that's getting one of those hoodies sent out to him.
That's cool.
So yeah, along with James and Danielle, Sean won. They won consecutively first and second place in that 1,000 follower giveaway. Yes, absolutely. So Gav's just pointed out there, like if you disturb those cellar spiders, they start bouncing around like they're on acid. It's nuts. They freak me out. I can't help it. I don't know why. Any like that, I've absolutely no dramas with them at all. I just do not do them horrible cellar spiders. They freak me right out.
It's almost like all of a sudden hurricanes coming through the room, isn't it? And they're just like clinging on for dear life. You're just looking at it going, oh, I used to find a lot of them out of scaffolding because like you'd leave the scaffold up for so long, go and climb up there, and it's just like,
yeah, 100%.
Right, just give us 2 seconds, going for a quick.
All right, buddy. Guys, while you're here, don't forget to like and share the stream, please. So, how about you guys in the chat? Have any of you had anything new this week? Last week? Any new arrivals? Any sheds, molts? Yeah, one day that door's going to slam, that shelf's going to come down 100%. And Sod's Law says it will be the day that Tyler's not in to watch it, because she says it every week. That shelf's coming down. Oh, nice. Enclosures. Oh, no. What was broken on it? What sort of enclosure? Oh, hisses. Where'd you get them from, Gav? I'm looking for somebody that's got sort of like larger quantities of hisses available. So if anybody knows anyone, just give us a shout and let us know. because I need to replenish my supply of hissing roaches. P. rufus slings. Can crack a hat. Oh, nice. You'll also have a Pteranopelma sasmi arriving this week as well, Sean. Oh no, that sucks. It's a shame you're not a little bit closer, because I've actually got a spare one of those. If you're talking about the 30 centimeter cube with the slidey top opening, I've got a spare one of those that I'm not doing anything with. If you're a bit closer, I'd have dropped it off, yeah. Who's that, me, Ebbs? Yeah, it's the same for me 9 times out of 10. Yes, occasionally I work in a hospital. I am an army medic by trade, so basically similar sort of skill set and qualifications as a paramedic. Just with a little bit more advanced trauma training. Welcome back, Tom.
Thank you.
Tell you some stories. Oh, I I don't know if any of the stories that I could tell would be appropriate for the audience at this time of day. And the really interesting ones are ones that I generally don't really want to remember. They're the ones that come back to haunt me. However, I did do quite a significant amount of hours in a hospital accident and emergency department a few years back, to just up my clinical hours that I need to keep up to a particular set. And while we were working in the hospital, most emergency departments have the same sort of sketch. They run a little pool every sort of week to see who can display the most interesting object removed from a person. So as you can imagine, there's a lot of weird stuff that comes in, and people come in with a lot of weird stuff stuck in various different places. We had a guy that had tried to do a party trick where he stuck a light bulb in his mouth, got past his teeth, but then couldn't get the light bulb back out. Jaw went into trismus, which is a kind of spasm, and then couldn't remove it. So they had to shatter the light bulb while it was still in his mouth to remove it. That was fun. They removed a 11.5-inch maglite torch, those big heavy duty security guard metal maglite torches. They removed one of those from a gentleman's colon while I was working in there. That was quite an interesting one. So it was kind of like he was doing an Uncle Fester, but he put the light bulb in the wrong way round. Yes, absolutely. Oh, ooh, Saturday. So I'm just catching up on some comments there. Let's scroll by quite quickly. Having art and quiz stream will be giving away the first ever RMS hoodie. It's printed for anyone other than that. Oh, well, you guys are getting one of my hoodies, so I need to jump on that and see if I can get one of yours. Definitely. What time's that gonna be running at? Likely gonna be running at. So I'm at my mum's for the weekend, decorating a living room.
And usually for us, it's about 1, 2 in the morning, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, buddy, no dramas. Good night, Sean. Take care, mate. Thanks for joining us.
And congratulations on winning.
I'll give you a shout when I stick that stuff in the post, so you know when to expect it. Starts 2 a.m. Saturday. Yeah, I think I can. I'll make a point of making that, I think. Yes, definitely make a point of being there for that one.
A little bit too late for me, generally.
Yeah, and it normally is for me, but do you know what? I'm only decorating my mum's house at the weekend. It's not like I've got to get up for work. I'm sure I can push out a couple of hours and then wake up and go on that. I just apologise if I'm a little bit bleary-eyed and so we'll definitely have to check that out. If my kids had let me, I'd do the same thing, but you can't sit down for 5 minutes when my kids get up in the morning. It's like somebody's snuck in and put fireworks under the bed and lit them, and they get out of bed like rockets and firecrackers. Crazy little things. Problem is they don't stop until bedtime either. Like the minute they wake up, they're constantly on the go. It's like somebody's fed them speed. Tried all sorts. Tried cutting out numbers, not giving them ketchup, all that stuff you're supposed to do to like help hyperactive kids calm down. None of it works.
Never really does it?
I mean, the next step is going to be crushing up sedatives and sprinkling it on their cornflakes. Like, just for the record, I would never actually do that. Before anyone starts calling Childline.
It's all right. It's all on here. It's, you know, we'll edit the other part out.
Chair swings. Chair swings were like the most amazing invention ever. Jonathan didn't like it. You put him in one of those chair swings and he used to kick off. But Alex, put him in a chair swing, he would stay in that thing for hours. In some ways, they were more easy to manage when they were babies. Haha. So, what's the subject to the quiz on Saturday, guys? I like quizzes.
I don't mind them, but I get a bit irritated because half the time I don't know the answer. It's like when you sort of like all of a sudden get through the day and you're speaking to someone and you're sort of like, oh, it was, and then about 6 hours later you're still thinking about it and then it pops into your head.
Okay. Oh, movies and music about spiders. Ah, so there's going to be a lot of like arachnophobia based questions and eight-legged freaks and stuff like that. That's amazing. Awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely be there for that. Still no sign of James.
He's probably built himself inside of one. I can't work out why. He's like stuck in the middle of one of these cubes.
Awesome. Yeah, Stefan, that's more likely what I'd probably end up doing and trying to stay awake all night ready for when the kids get up. I do that on the days when I want to let Sarah have a lay in. By the time I'm ready for bed, it's only a couple of hours before the boys are due to get up. So I think, do you know what, sod it, might as well just stay here.
I was going to say, do you ever get a chance to have an afternoon nap then, Wayne? You know, with your boys running around?
Sometimes. So, last couple of days actually, I've had to go and have an afternoon nap. So just had a bit of a cold and felt like crap for a couple of days. So wasn't sleeping very well and stuff. So I've kind of stayed on the sofa. So I've not kept Sarah awake with me tossing and turning. So I've been up for when the boys have got up in the morning, and then once Sarah's up and about and moving in the art like later on and stuff, and everything's done that needs doing, I'll grab a couple of hours then just to try and catch up on some of the sleep that I've lost. But like most of the time, I'm not back in from work until sort of 5:30 at the earliest. So no chance of an afternoon nap then. So yeah. One other hi mate. One other new addition that I didn't mention actually last week was the tokay gecko.
Oh.
Yeah, Sarah decided just on a whim while she was out and about that she wanted a tokay gecko. She was looking around and they had one, and she just bought it and came back home and was like, "Yay!" So I had to get an enclosure sorted for that pretty rapid. Lucky enough, we had all the spare enclosures and stuff. I mean, they're amazing looking creatures. But
This can be a little bit bitey.
yeah. She said when she because apparently there was like 2 or 3 of them in there together. And when she asked the person that was serving at the in the reptile section at the Guardian Centre, when she was like, "Can I get one of your tokays?" Apparently they looked at her like their world had ended. Apparently she went up and she was like, "I'm really sorry, but can you get me one of the tokay geckos, please?" And apparently this lass just went, "Oh, really?" So yeah, apparently she went
Admittedly,
yeah.
Our reptile shop a few years back now, they had one in, and I was like, "Oh, can I just have a look?" It was like, yeah." I was like, yeah, right, let's just get it straight. You know, you just have to like pull something back so that I can see it. You don't have to worry about. I was like, oh, thank you. Yeah, that's fine. I walked over to this enclosure and it's there. There you go. So you
Yeah.
could see like the bead of sweat dripping off his side of the face. It's like, please don't make me.
Yeah. Oh, mega. Whoa, $800 for a tokay gecko. That's nuts. Oh no, that's a bit better. $40. Yeah, no idea whether this one's a male or female. They didn't know in the shop. So I'm gonna have to sex it at some stage. But yeah, it was great fun. So obviously they caught it out of whatever enclosure it was in, put it in a little a little plastic tub with some air holes and stuff to bring it home. And then when we sort of popped the lid off to put it in the enclosure, just after I'd got it ready, it was already there. Big wide mouth and like, yeah, okay. Attitude. But Sarah loves anything with an attitude like that. Personality, she calls it.
It's all part of the fun with these animals, I suppose. There's not an awful lot of geckos out there that sort of give that sort of attitude, is it?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I fed that one from the tongs. That one's been all right. I'm not quite ready to start feeding it with my fingers yet. Although the little Savannah monitor has been pretty cool, so I've been trying to get that one used to me being there and stuff. And I've got it now where it will come out of its little hide, sit on the edge, and it will take hoppers out of my hand. But like I said, that's a proper diddy little thing at the moment. Yeah, I'm fairly happy with the process for. I'm fairly happy with the process for sexing them. It's just obviously I've either got to wait for it to stick itself to the glass so I can see the ventral side, or I'm going to have to go in there and get it out, which is going to be the fun part. Hi, Scott.
He says as he's got the suit ready behind him.
Yeah. Oh. Dave, you'd be surprised. You didn't actually get a chance to see the tokay. No, not as bad as Lilith. Lilith is the snake that I'm building this viv behind me for. Um, and yeah, like I said, she's a Taiwanese beauty snake. Now, beauty snakes have notoriously got a bit of a bad temper anyway. They can be tamed down. You generally have to start with them quite early to tame them down. But this one is the one that we rescued. So this was the one that was kept by somebody for God knows how long. in a viv that was too small for her. I mean, she's easily 7 foot long. And quite slender snakes, but she's easily 7 foot, I reckon. And the bloke that had her in a 3 foot viv because he was too scared of her to move it or do anything or clean it or whatever. So we took that on as a rescue. And yeah, she's just not used to people. She's incredibly viv defensive. So yeah, we called her Lilith, bride of Satan. Yeah, once she's out, she's not quite so bad. But yeah, still no. Lee's right. You never forget your first bite from a tokay. Luckily enough, I've never been tagged, but I've seen.
There's still time.
I've seen people get nipped by tokay geckos. I've had a nip. See, this is the thing though, because I've had a nip from a leopard gecko, and I know there's a drastic difference between a tokay and a leopard. But you don't expect it to be quite as bad as what it is when a tokay bites. Apparently, it shocks people, and they tend to grab on and not let go. Yeah, Lee's just said I have 13 minutes. It was on me for. Yeah, they hang on.
No, I mean,
it's not on the glass. It does sort of have a wander around every now and again, but the minute you try, it disappears off to the back. Oh, nice. Stefan's having a good day.
Someone's in with a bit of luck.
Yeah. You know that's going straight on Portsmouth Tarantulas, right?
If not, he's looking now. Yeah, I was going to say, like, I mean, I've got a cresty gecko that's a bit on the bitey side, but you know, it's nothing compared to a tokay, I suppose.
No.
I mean, it's not too bad, but when you go near him to start with, it's like.
See, what the thing that freaked me out the most was like our pair of leopard geckos. We had some eggs from them a couple of years back, I think. And I thought, oh, do you know what? I'll incubate them and see what happens. So I incubated the eggs. Got two of them hatched out. One was stillborn, so it never actually got out of its egg. I had to cut the egg open for that one, and unfortunately, it didn't make it. It was dead inside the egg. But the one that did make it, amazing. And that little crazy thing used to try and have your fingers whenever you fed it. Like, you couldn't believe it. This tiny little leopard gecko, about this long, and you'd open the little pot that it was in and try to feed it, and it'd jump for your fingers. Nothing quite compares to the sound of a baby leopard gecko screaming at you either. It's amazing. So Diana's going to have a day of putting together a greenhouse tomorrow, by the looks of it. What's going in your greenhouse, Diana? The obvious answer is plants, I know, but
One thing that I need to get round to getting, really.
Yeah. Well, I'm considering building a little hot box out on the deck in the garden because I'm trying to grow some chili plants this year.
I just need to grow some weeds for the tortoise, so I've always got them.
Oh, did you have a look at that list of plants that I sent you through from that?
I did, yeah.
So yeah, that stuff's supposed to be ready to go straight away. So you don't have to keep them like in any other soil for a period of time beforehand. They've been cultivated specifically to feed to
Yeah, that's it.
herbivorous reptiles and animals. So they should be ready to plant straight up. And I didn't think the prices were too bad. I don't know what like normally. I mean, you could just go and get a load of lettuce seed and chuck that in and stuff, but grow your own cabbages in there and things like that. But this stuff's supposed to be animal safe, ready to go straight away. As a quick fix, I thought it might be an option.
Yeah, I've slowly been walking around places as well and digging whole things up now and repotting them at home rather than just picking bits. Like obviously asking if I can. I know it sounds strange, but you know, everywhere I go, I do ask whether or not I can dig up their weeds.
Yeah.
Now and I'm coming home and it's like, cool, right, pop that, feed that.
Just everyone's unwanted dandelions.
Pretty much, yeah. I dug up a load of forget-me-nots the other day from someone's garden because they were like, "Yeah, just take them. Just do what you want. Take as many as you want."
No, Lee, I've not heard anything from this tokay. It's definitely an adult looking at the size of it, but we've not heard a peep from it. Not a single sound. Seems that everyone's mentioning that the male tokays have a little bit of a kick off every evening. So maybe that's an indicator this one's possibly female. If it's not. I'll say every time it's on the glass and I get up there to try and have a look, it just disappears off. It's not the most sociable animal. Yeah, we had to do that in the end with our leopard geckos. Had to separate them out because the male was getting a little bit, well, not aggressive towards the female, but he was basically nicking all the food and she wasn't getting much of it. So we had to separate them out.
That's how they say that to determine most of the time sets of frogs as well is that you'll hear the males calling out at night time, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the things I looked. So when Sarah brought that Pac-Man frog home the other week, I was like, oh, I wonder how you tell if how that's male or female. And apparently the males have got like little dark spots on the front legs.
Yeah, on the front foot, there's like a little round dark spot basically, but females don't have it.
Yeah. This is still a juvenile, this little frog though, so yeah, can't tell.
Yeah, they say that you don't end up seeing like that sort of like spot up until they are adult, basically.
Yeah. I've always got crickets in this room, mate. There's every stream somebody's moaning at me because I've got crickets kicking off in the background. Although surprisingly enough, the lot that I've got here at the moment are being pretty quiet.
No, I haven't heard any of mine for
No,
a few days now.
I've got I've got a tub of extra large black crickets there as well. So I'm surprised they're not chirping away like crazy. always makes me laugh as well, because the ones that I do get are all supposed to be silent crickets. They're never silent. Black crickets definitely ain't. But
Oh, I know that. Yeah.
the ones that you normally hear kicking off are the ones that I buy as silent crickets. But yeah. Congratulations, Scott. Well, if everyone's orders arrived the same as the one that I got from you, I'm not surprised everyone's happy, mate. That was absolutely spot on.
Yeah, like I say, I mean, for me, I'm trying not to look at anything because I don't want to be persuaded to buy anything. Sort of, as I say, I'm holding out to try and see what happens with BTS, really. And it might be not buying anything for about a month or two, but
Yeah, I've got a specific list of things that I want now. So I have yeah, I've got a wish list, a proper wish list now.
I think I've got to start that.
Yeah, so I said last week that I'd picked up a mature male salmon pink.
Yeah.
So literally just after the stream finished last week, I thought let's introduce them and see how it goes. Popped him in. Took him about 10 minutes to interact. He started doing his little sort of weird vibrating and drumming and stuff. She tapped in response. They sort of got close. He went in to do the business, and then she battered him off, and then she wasn't interested. She chased him away. So I thought, okay, there wasn't any sign of aggression. She just did the whole "I'm not interested" thing and just shoot him off. So I potted him back up, put him into his enclosure and stuff. And I've realised why now, because she's currently behind me in this tank, just coming to the end of constructing a molting mat.
Ah.
So I'm expecting sometime over the next few hours for her to be flipping herself upside down. I'm trying to keep a half an eye on it, because when she does, I want to set up the camera on time lapse and see if I can get a really nice time lapse molt from start to finish. She's a big, impressive girl, this one. So if she grows anymore, she'll be a monster. I mean, she's already a good 9.5, 10-inch leg span anyway. If she puts on any more size, she probably won't. But if she puts on any more size, she'll be even more impressive. And it's nuts when you look at the difference in size between mature males. Generally tend to be just as leggy as the females, but he's not. She's so much bigger than him. Haha. Yeah, it normally happens the other way for me. I normally pair them up, and then like within a matter of a couple of weeks after pairing them, the female then decides that she's going to molt. Even when you think you've timed it perfectly, when you think to yourself, "Oh, she's got at least 6 months before she's due a molt," and no, guaranteed every time. It's just me and my crap luck of all the different pairings and that sort of stuff. I've only had over the years. I've only had 4 successful pairings, as in where I've actually got egg sacs out of them, and they've come on to produce spiderlings, and they've been relatively easy species to breed. So first.
I know your pain on things like that. Not obviously egg sacs, but obviously, I tried to record my mature male albiceps. No, albiceps. Albipleusis when
Yeah.
it matured out to male, and everything recorded, all apart from the bit where he flipped over, broke out, and then it started recording then again when he was stood back upright.
So the actual bit that you wanted was the bit it didn't record.
No. And I was basically, he had flipped over, so I was like, right, start recording. This is like 8 o'clock in the evening. Thought, yeah, that's fine. 12 o'clock, still nothing. So I still left it all running. Went to sleep for a couple of hours, set an alarm, woke back up, thought, right, I'll check it. Hadn't caught anything. And there he was, basically stood there looking at me as if to go, ah, 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 ah. But I couldn't believe it. Everything that you wanted, I caught the 4 hours of him just literally laying there on his back beforehand.
38 successful sacks over the last 16 years. I feel like an amateur now, 20 years in the hobby nearly, and only 4 successful sacks. Well, to be fair, I've only actually probably paired up maybe 2 or 3 times the number of successful sacks I've had. So odds-wise, I suppose it's not the worst. So I kept them for a long time before I even considered starting to breed them. And when I started to breed them, it was very shortly before I ended up having to get out of the hobby for the first time round. And when you're breeding and stuff, I like to try and do a bit of conditioning with most of the species that I try and pair up. So, yeah, see, I've not even tried to pair even close to that number. That's insane. Scott, it's possible that your hognose hasn't shed yet. Most species come out of blue and look perfectly normal for a few days before they shed. So they'll go blue, they don't shed straight off. They generally sort of look back to sort of normal colouring and then they'll shed afterwards. But it's equally as possible that she's shed underground. Hognose are burrowers after all.
For me, I'd like to breed, but I don't know what I'd do with all the babies or even where I'd put them to start. I'm running out of room as it is.
Yeah. See, I'm just LPs. They're relatively straightforward to breed. I know I'm going to have about 3,000 babies. It is what it is. I'm just going to, send them to literally every subscriber on my channel, every follower on my Instagram. Anybody want some free LPs?
You'd probably be able to send like 3 to every one of your subscribers and still have change left over.
Oh God, yeah. just give Lee at the Spider Shop a ring and say, do you want some LPs? Take him at a penny each. There you go. 10 pence a sling. Is 30 LPs and get £3 for it. Dave, you've already got an LP here anyway, mate. It came as a freebie for you when I ordered your GBB. It's great. So the guy that I've been trying to convince for ages and ages and ages to get back into the hobby of keeping spiders, I finally got him to order his first one after like years and years and years of not having one. So I got him to I got him to order his first one. With that, it came with a freebie, so he ended up with 2. And he's also now got a juvenile Ageniculata set up on the shelf here as well that I've convinced him to have 2. So he's gone from 1 to 3 in as many months.
Not bad going.
It's not. It's not.
Slow but steady.
He keeps accusing me of twisting his arm as well, but I promise you, it did not take any twisting.
Generally, it doesn't. Once you start looking at something.
Yeah, that was pretty much the same for me. I never did the right. I'm only getting 1. I knew straight off the bat that as soon as I got 1, that it was never going to stop with 1.
I got told I was only allowed 1.
We're significantly far past that now, mate.
Yeah, but like I say, that wasn't necessarily my fault. You know, I got the 1. She told me it was only the 1.
Yeah.
I said about some others that, you know, that looked pretty good and cool and whatever else. I come home from work one day and she's looking. Not me.
Yeah.
She's been looking on the website.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we ordered 2 more.
Oh, Scott's just messaged. Scott's just put a comment on there saying he's finally bought his first spider. What have you got, Scott? What did you go for? Rocky Mountains just said they're shopping for a facility. I feel like I need to do this. Okay. Start with a little jumping spider. 560. Yeah, highest I ever got, like when I was crazy mad into it, was about 300. Not including any of the babies that I produced.
I'd like to have that many, but I'd never fit them in this room.
I had all of mine in a conservatory. So I had my conservatory with some special shelving that I built into it. And it was what was that? It was probably 8x10. Yeah, 8 foot by 10 foot conservatory.
Well, this is half the conservatory, and it's about 7x8.
Yeah, I didn't have a desk or anything else in there. It literally was like wall to wall to wall racking with a space down the middle to stand in.
Yeah, well, that's it. If I didn't have this bench here, then, you know,
Yeah, double
I'd have...
collection.
And no, Lee, I've not quite got that many in slings, only about 80-ish.
Yeah.
the collection of slings.
I've got 70 or 80 now. It's one of my, Phomictopus. It's one of my favourite New World genus. That and Sericopelma.
I don't know. I quite like the Panthobetus.
I like
World.
Panthros. Pretty much all of like the really large genus, New World genus. So Theraphosa, Panthobetus, Phomictopus, Acanthoscuria, Lasiodora. The bigger sort of over 8-inch leg span kind of beasties. They're all fantastic display species as well. Sericopelma can be a little bit hit or miss. They can hide away a little bit.
Yeah, I always forget how big panthos can actually get. Yeah. It's sort of like it. For some reason, it always just slips my mind, thinking, oh, you know, they're like a 7-ish sort of. But when you look at some of them, they're like 9 or 10, and you're looking and you're thinking.
Yeah, and that, I mean, they all hit that sort of 8, 9, 10-inch leg span. All those big genus. The Phomictopus top out at sort of around about 8-inch leg span. So my first, actually, same as Cydex there. My first was a Phomictopus canceroides, and that was I bought it as a sub-adult female. It molted once into a mature male, but the mature male was absolutely stunning. And that's what you find with the panthos as well, is the females generally tend to be quite a dull, sort of subdued colour, but the males are absolutely stunning. My favouriteest, is a good England word there, favouriteest. My most favourite of the big New World species is the Xenesis genus.
Yeah.
But I stopped thinking about them now because they're so bloody expensive and so hard to come by. And I don't want to get things.
If all of a sudden a female comes up somewhere, unless you want to mortgage the house, and be the first person there, to go and pick it up by hand as well, so that you make sure that you've got it.
Yeah. So yeah, I've got, what have I got? Last time I got out of the hobby, I sold a pair of Xenesis immanis to a lad from Wales that drove down to collect it and disappear off. He bought like a whole bunch of stuff because I was pretty much selling off the whole collection. So he left with about 15 spiders, and he took a pair of P. antinus, adult female, and a juvenile male. He took the Xenesis immanis. That was a sub-adult female and a juvenile male. If I think about some of the stuff that I've had over the years, like, it's just mental. Stuff that I've let go, and I mean that pair of immanis went for 120 quid. You couldn't pick up a confirmed female for that price now.
No.
But saying
not
that,
even about 5 to 7 centimeters confirmed female.
Exactly. I mean, saying that, one of the ones that I gave away free in that collection was an adult female Chili Rose. You can't find one of them now. And that was like just as they were the end of being really common in the hobby before they suddenly disappeared. Yeah, the Dominican purple is beautiful, and I like the South Hispaniola as well. But I just can't. I keep the only ones that seem to be available at the moment in the Phomictopus ranges. They're all slings, and I don't like buying slings anymore. I just have immensely bad luck with slings. It's almost guaranteed every sling I get will turn out to be a male.
I know now if I'm like buying my slings, I'm trying to buy 3 at a time of something, because then you have got maybe a chance of, at least one female out of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I can't just now buy one sling, just through bad luck of losing stuff and whatever else anyway.
Yeah.
I can't feel that if I just buy one, then I'm probably going to end up with something like losing it within 6 months or.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Dave, and it didn't chase you. You just ran away. There's a difference. That was an OBT. So the moment that I watched a human being defy the laws of gravity, that was quite funny. And Dave will never forget it, because I'll never let him live it down.
Well, the only thing that I've got in the Phomictopus gene is the Cuban bronze, the oh, can't even remember. Can't even. That's the one. So I've got 3 Aratus.
Yeah. See, I like
which are all around the sort of 3.5 to 4 inch sort of size.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that at least one of them's going to end up being a female.
Yeah.
But they all come in mystery boxes. All 3 of them.
Yeah, the two I had, unfortunately, while I was away in Northern Ireland, they passed away. They were only 2 little grown-on slings. We had the Auratus and we had the Atrichomatus.
Yeah.
Is that the Hysterocrates Gygus that you're on about there, Danielle?
Yeah, I'm sure my one down is a sub-adult male.
Yeah.
So probably within the next 6 months, I'll either be looking for a female for him or be looking to send him off.
Yeah. Ah, yes. That was the. So what they've got, the Hysterocrates Gygus. That was the first species I ever successfully bred. I got the male on a loan. Put him in with a female a couple of times. They cohabited together really nice. And probably one of the most placid, relaxed, and chilled out pairings that I've ever seen in my life was the H. Gygus. I mean, the interaction between the male and female was phenomenal. And then when he'd kind of had enough and backed away, she followed him round for about an hour trying to get him to have some more, which was quite funny. I'm not sure what colour form it was that I had. I'm going back to before there was ever any recognised colour forms with H. gigis. However, it was an adult female that was that beautiful rusty red colour to start with, and then the first time she molted with me, she went a sort of silvery grey colour with red hairs. That was really, really odd to see as a H. gigis, because the only H. gigis I'd ever seen before that were that nice sort of rusty red, hence why they're called the Cameroon rusty red baboons. But yeah, she molted and came out almost like a metallic slate grey colour. It was amazing. She was a beast of a girl as well. She was massive. But yeah, such a chilled pairing.
I don't know. I like them, but for me, they're kind of an overrated spider in some respects.
What, the gigis?
Yeah, in my own personal, to me, yeah, they are good, but there's a lot of others out there in my eyes that trumps them, if you wish. But then,
Yeah,
I like a tripepe. To me, a tripepe's up in one of my, and a lot of people will go, nah, a tripepe, but
yeah, yeah,
I think it's just that whole thing of gigas is like, especially a female, is quite a nice, chunky, hefty size,
yes,
and obviously a lot of people like the larger teas rather than all these little dwarfs and.
yeah, yeah, agreed.
But then there's just some people that just like them all.
I like them. I think they're quite impressive. And like I said, I started my journey into the hobby vicariously with my uncle used to keep tarantulas, like I said, back in the 90s. And one of his big females that I used to feed and help him look after and stuff like that was an adult female H. gigis. And that was my introduction to them. So when I first started my collection, I was guaranteed I had to have one. I like the king baboons as well, and a lot of people don't rate them because they're pet holes, they're fossorial, you never see them. Every now and again, you'll get a few little bits and pieces of chewed up malt chucked out and little pellets of food that they've finished. But for the most part, they'll dig a really deep hole and you'll never see them. But I wouldn't not have one in my collection. I think they're amazing. Without a doubt, king baboons are my favourite African species. I mean, I like the more display species from Africa. I like my feather legs. I like my H-Max and stuff like that. But king baboons will always be my favourite African species.
I mean, they're basically a fossorial OBT in some respects.
Yeah,
They've got that. They can have that vibrant color, obviously, after a molt and stuff.
yeah. It's just that terracotta slate red velvety colour of them. It's just beautiful, and those really thick, chunky back legs. I mean, I searched for years and years and years. I've had a number of adult king baboons in my collection, and I've searched for years and years and years and years for a mature male king baboon, and I've never found one.
Well, my one's still only about 2 inches. So I've still got a long time to wait for that yet.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, Scott's just sent us a message and asked if he could pop onto the stream for a little bit. While we're seeing if people want to jump on, anybody else would like to jump on the stream for a little bit and join us for a face-to-face chat? Anyone? James, Danielle, Ian, fancy jumping on for a bit? Anyone? I'll send Scott a link now. But if you'd like to, yeah, fair enough. The H polka piece,
Yeah,
are absolutely stunning, and that's fast becoming one of my other favorite African species. I've got a little juvenile female here, which I'm a little bit disappointed with. I ordered her from Emil at Spider Planet.
mm-hmm.
She was advertised as a sub-adult female, so I was expecting something a little bit bigger than what arrived. Because I was thinking I've already got like a juvenile male, so if I go for a sub-adult female, that will set me right up, wouldn't it? And the female that's turned up, I would have put her as a grown-on sling, small juvenile at best.
Oh,
half the size of the juvenile male that I've got, which completely sucks because he's going to be mature way before she's anywhere even close to being ready to be paired up. So I've got this male H polka piece, small sub-adult now because he's molted a couple of times since I've had him. So yeah, that sucks a little bit. So yeah, if anybody is looking for a sub-adult, large juvenile, sub-adult male H polka piece, let me know. I'll have one sort of going. A few people have been like, "Oh, that's really interesting," but nobody's actually solidly said, "Yes, I definitely want him." So
no, I've always liked them, but when I mean, I've only ever seen them when I sort of first started, getting teas. And for me, at the very start, to pay out like 180, £200 on an adult
yeah,
female, it was sort of like,
flood it, Rocky. So James and Daniel have just asked for some advice on trigger and egg sac production from a vegans. It's one of the other species I've successfully paired up. They tend to like a nice long drying out before they get into their wet season, and wet seasons generally tend to trigger their egg sac production. So a good heavy soaking, and yeah, should be a good way to trigger egg sac production with vegans. Sorry, Ian, if I'm stepping on your toes there, buddy. I just spotted it and realised that was directed at you. Well, okay, Ian's pretty much said the same thing I've said anyway. Oh, 2 seconds. I'm just sending a link. And right, Stefan. Ah. So tried that, hasn't worked. Ah. You said she's been sitting on that for about 6 months, or holding back for about 6 months.
Yeah, you know, for me, unfortunately, I can't give anyone advice on breeding because I've not looked into it yet myself, because I'm not at that stage. Not that I wouldn't like to.
Right, Scott, you've just popped up down the bottom, buddy, but I can't accept you into the chat because it's telling me your devices are not connected, so I can't actually invite you onto the stream. You need to make sure your mic and cam are working before I can accept you in. No, I've not heard anything back from James yet, Stefan. I don't know what's going on. I think, like Tom said, maybe he's like built himself into an IKEA unit and can't get out.
That, or he's forgotten how big they are, started building them, and now he's stuck in the corner somewhere, and he's just trying to figure himself out. It's like a little maze all the way through now.
Yeah.
I can imagine it being like that scene from Friends where Ross is trying to get the sofa up the stairs, and
Or the
he's
one
like,
where
"Pivot, pivot."
or the one where Joey gets locked into his own cabinet by the burglar. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Scott.
Hello.
Hello, buddy. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. I found a full-size tripod, so things again.
So not bouncing around on your lap on the bed this time, then?
No. It wasn't last time, but I only had a small tripod, so I had to get a couple of 80-litre boxes and stack them, and then put the small tripod on top. Doing some tests with Stefan like earlier on last week, I done some footage with this full-size tripod, and even moving it and that, it just didn't make any noise at all. So it was really smooth. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what I can do going forward.
Good. So that's part of the reasons why I want to try and capture this time lapse, because everyone's everyone's done time lapse moltings and that sort of stuff. It's, there's tons of them out there. I just want to get the practice in of like using the camera and trying to see. I've never really recorded any time lapse stuff before, apart from a block of coir substrata taking on water and expanding, which is like the most boring time lapse you could ever possibly record, to be fair.
Yeah, I've done a 10-second time lapse of my isopods eating some dried fish, but now I've got the proper tripod, I might be able to set it up and get the whole thing over the course of the night. And just, I'll need to make sure I've obviously got no leaves or nothing, so that the isopods can't escape like halfway through the night and join me in bed. But could be interesting seeing them just devouring this little sprat, because filming for like a minute and a half and only getting 10 seconds of footage is never really that satisfying, is it?
Yeah.
Could you not put a barrier around the top as if you would with ants?
No, woodlice have gills, So if you was to put Vaseline or anything around it, you're basically just going to suffocate them. So if they came up to it, they would cover their gills and then they would all die. So it's not like roaches and that where you can put like a little barrier in that. What I could do possibly is have a look at setting it up with taking the vent out the top of the box in the middle and then putting the camera so I can see through the vent hole and doing it that way. But I don't know. There's plans in the woodworks for like videos going forward. But yeah, got a new assassin bug today.
New assassin bugs.
Yeah, I got an Aurelius cristatus. It's the wheel assassin bug from
Oh,
America.
yeah.
Probably able to get it down actually. It's so much calmer than Horrida. Like I done the rehouse, it was like the most calm. It was basically like New World versus Old World when you watch rehouses of tarantulas. That much difference. But I'll get it down and then.
That'll be a pretty cool video, Ian. I'll look forward to seeing that.
Unfortunately, it's on the lid, so this could be a bit fun. Please don't run. Please don't run. Be good. Good assassin bug. Oh, it's being a good boy. Oh, the stupid reflection. Hang on. This is going to be interesting, guys.
Ah, yes. He's going for your finger.
No, he's all right. I'm kind of getting a measure of him, but yeah. Very, very calm compared to the other assassins, though.
I need to get some more of the giant ones. The giant spinies, they are amazing.
Steve Thornton has some.
Yeah, I got this lot off of Steve. Problem is they've all sort of matured out now, and they're like they don't last all that long after they've matured out. So, like the first of the adults to mature have now sort of started to pop their clogs. So,
Yeah. I'm hoping that Aurelius lasts quite a long time because unfortunately it's a sub-adult and that's all I could get. I couldn't get a nymph of it, but it seems quite small, so fingers crossed.
good.
And yeah, lots of new additions this week. I've got double digits of new additions.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Mostly pods though, yeah?
No, I've only got 3 species of pods that have come, and then I've got 4 assassin bugs. So I've got that one I just showed you. I've got the white spot, red spot, and the Mumbo, which is the orange spot.
Yeah.
And then I'm also talking to Bugsville from Instagram. He's got yellow spots, so hopefully when he has some available, I'll be able to get one of them. The Goteta penis.
Okay.
But yeah, so that should be really cool. Then I've got the jumping spider, 2 species of millipedes. One of them is a really good deal. I got them for free, and it's over 100 olive millipedes with the full setup, and dropping it off some point this week.
Okay.
So that'd be really good. But yeah,
that's pretty cool.
I don't think I've missed anything. Oh yeah, domino roaches.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah,
they are cool.
They're only nymphs at the moment though, so it could be a couple of years before they start looking the real business. But yeah. Have you had any new additions?
No, not really. No. Like I say, it's mostly been sort of trying to focus on getting these enclosures built and stuff. So like this one there that I'm working on at the minute.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just sort of got to finish off the animal room really and get this all up to scratch. And then once everything's sort of in its place and laid out properly, I'll have a rough idea of what I've got in terms of space and how to move things around. I need to get a couple of new enclosures for the bigger terrestrial species I've got.
Yep.
So I'm redoing the enclosure for two Goliath bird eaters, and a pinkfoot Goliath and a Pantherbeetus ultramarinis. So I'll be getting those sorted out.
If you want, send me the dimensions of your rack in, like the usable space and that on the inside of each shelf.
Yeah.
Then see what enclosures you've got. I'll do a CAD. So I've got all your enclosures and that as just polys, so they're all just blocks. And then I'll basically look at a few different ways of putting them in so they all fit in that if you want.
Okay.
I'll play on my 3D modeling software.
Okay.
I've
That'd
done
be
that
pretty cool.
Yeah,
Thanks, buddy.
that's all right. Honestly, I got so bored during the first lockdown. I modelled every single heat and light source product on Swirl Reptiles UK in 3D modelling software as like basic models for the most part. And then I modelled every single standard size Viv from 15 by 15 by 15. No, sorry, 2 foot by 15 by 15, all the way up to like 10 foot by 8 foot by 6 foot or something stupid like that.
Right.
Like the whole lot. So anyone in the reptile hobby can just message me and just be like, I'm looking to do this, what do you advise? And I can just give them a few different layouts and that. But I don't get many people asking, unfortunately.
You got to find a way to advertise that.
Yeah, well, hopefully it will be another thing sort of going along with like the breeding the pods and that. I've got that sort of stuff on the digital, and recently I had one of my friends reach out to me, and she's actually commissioned me to build her a 4 foot for her boa.
Okay.
So today I spent the most of today doing this 4 foot, so it's all built. I've put all the electronics in it already. I've now stripped the electronics out after putting all the screw hole pilots and that in, so I know where everything's going.
Yeah.
And I've sealed the top so far. So then tomorrow I need to get a piece of it's like a shelf, but basically I put it at the front of my Viv so I can have a deeper substrate.
Okay.
And once I've done that, I can seal the bottom of the Viv and then do the verticals, and it's basically all done. But I really enjoyed doing it, but she's given me a bit of money for it, and I don't know if anyone else locally would want the same thing, but fingers crossed.
Yeah. Well, stuff like always gets put out word of mouth, doesn't it? So.
Unfortunately, she's about 2.5 hours away, so not many people would be that mad. 4-hour journey to pick up a Viv that someone's built for them, but
No. Well, I suppose it's a bit different. If you're having something, created specifically to the specifications you want, it's worth the travel, isn't it?
yeah.
It's
good for me because where her budget fit above where mine was for my boa, so it's the stuff that I wanted to get but couldn't really do it on the budget that I was on. So it's fun for me. It means I can put like the proper equipment, which is absolutely brilliant. It'll be my first time playing around with a microclimate Evo.
Okay.
Yeah, it's quite fun.
Yeah, see, I like the Evo because of the fact that it does everything that all other thermostats do in one unit.
Yeah.
And now the price is starting to come down on them a little bit. They're not too bad.
Yeah, I think this one's about 117 on Internet Reptile at the moment. I think it was like reduced.
I can get them significantly cheaper than that.
Oh, that's brilliant! If you can sort of go out and you know where I am. Let you know what. But
yeah.
The nice thing is with this boa setup is what I wanted to do because it's dual heat source. So I've got the
Yeah.
ceramic and I've got the floodlight, like the flood
Okay.
heat lamp. So I've
Okay.
got the and both heat sources are running off the one Evo stat. So
Yeah.
it'll be to get some practice with that because in the next couple of years I'll probably do the same for mine.
Yeah. They're a little bit harder to come by now, but one of the things I like for heating snake setups, especially if you're looking at any kind of, especially semi-arboreal species of snake, because I don't like the fact that they can still wrap themselves around bulb guards and stuff like that unless you're going to cut holes out the top and things. What I like using with things like that are the reptile radiators, the old Habistat 75 watt ones. They are massively underrated bits of kit. They're gleaming, and that's what I've got basically in that. So mounted into the side of it is the 75 watt Habistat reptile radiator.
How hot do they get? Because obviously from my understanding, they're kind of like a ceramic, but they're in a flat form factor. Basically,
yeah. But they're quite low wattage, obviously, as you can imagine. 75 watts, not super high. So it's not like the microclimate AHS heaters that have got the ceramic bar bulb in that get super hot. I mean, they do get hot, and if you leave them on with no stat and you put your hand on it, eventually it gets to a point where it's like, right, okay, that's a little bit hot now. But if you stat them correctly and use the correct type of stat on it, they're actually really good. And
you can get the
issue, yeah, you can get the cages that mount over the top of them. And the mistake that most people make with them is they obviously put the thermostat somewhere in the enclosure and then try and get an ambient temperature reading from that distally located temperature probe. Where actually it's much easier to put the probe closer to the stat and then measure the temperature in the area and set the stat to a lower temperature so that the actual heating device doesn't get too hot in itself. Because you think about it, if you're trying to get a certain ambient temperature halfway down the viv, you put that probe halfway down the viv and set your thermostat to that temperature. Yes, it might give you precise control over that. However, by the time you actually reach the reptile radiator or the heat source, it's already too hot to touch.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying there. The one thing I always try and do is I always try and set up a basking zone, and you always put a measurement device on that basking zone. So if you've got like a climbing branch and that, you want to measure what the temperature of that branch is.
Yeah, but so what I mean is the difference is you put the stat closer to the probe, but you still measure the temperature on the spot you want it to be on. So the probe's closer.
Yeah. Yeah, I use both. I cable time together, so like that. So this is the stat and this is the thermometer, and I literally in that spot.
Yeah, no, I don't do that.
Okay.
I don't do that for the simple reason that if I can have the probe closer, if that malfunctions, the probe for the thermostat's gonna kick in quicker. I can test the temperature. I've got a digital infrared temperature gun, so it doesn't matter where I put the probe. I can still measure the temperature at that particular spot, and I can adjust the thermostat accordingly. So, I mean, the numbers that are on those thermostats anyway, they might as well not be there because they're not super accurate.
They're never calibrated properly. There's always a couple of degrees, give or take.
Yeah.
My microclimate is pretty accurate actually. I just looked at it. It's set to 27. It's measuring 27.2, so not too bad on that one. But a couple of them are quite far out, aren't they? But going back to inverts before we get on a massive reptile tangent because I'm on one. Hello, Stephanie.
You all right?
Yeah.
See you later, Francis. Take care, buddy. I hope your shoulder feels better soon, mate.
Soon.
So, Stefan, how you doing, buddy?
It's been a hell of a day.
I was going to say, a bit of a sucky start to the day for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
I hope winning that 100 quid scratch cards made you feel
Yeah,
better.
that made it go hell of a lot.
That's proper karma, that.
Yeah. She got her personally. The car wouldn't. Well, her battery died when she was taking Litland to ballet. So
Oh,
she had to
dear.
abandon it, walk back home with Litland, and then walk back up to get her car. Luckily, her mum, Safra, had been up and sorted it. So, yeah. Thought I won a tenner on a scratch card, but turns out it was 100 quid. So that made it.
Can't argue with that, can you, mate?
That was good.
And on top of that, this Viv build, I should be getting a 2-foot, so you should be able to get the Viv for nothing, and then just focus on the animal
Yeah.
you choose to put in it. Because I've said to Stefan, because I'm getting a Viv basically thrown in with this build, because he's looking for one, I might as well just have a look over it, spick and span, and good to go, and send it his way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good shout.
And then my mum's over the moon because she's having his pleco. He's getting rid of one of his plecos. It's like a
Okay.
yellow zebra one. Can't remember the L number.
333. That's the
Yeah.
fun
Did you say that,
something else that I've got going on.
Is that Tom?
Scott? Did you say that you were getting Philippus Regis, or you've got one?
Getting one.
Yeah.
I ordered on that virginiacheeseman.co.uk.
Yeah.
And so I think she's just holding off on the weather a little bit. But it was $9.99 for a small juvie, unsexed. And then
Fair
that's where I'm
price.
getting the 3 assassins for it as well. The orange spot assassin bug she threw in because I asked about it after I put the order on, and asked her to see if she's got any nymphs. She did have them. She put them on the website. I got in touch, and then she was like, "You know what? I've just thrown it in with the order. Call it a freedom present because of the change in the guidelines. So I'm getting that for free." Really good experience so far. When I do the unboxing, it'll be really good. But I didn't do the unboxing for the Arillis because I've got an Amazon parcel that's been repackaged with brown paper from the Amazon actual delivery, and then a bit of newspaper wrapped around a deli cup with no heat pack, with this assassin bug in some dry tissue. So
Wow.
for a 20 quid sub-adult assassin bug, I'm not very impressed. But right? The bug's awesome, and it took a mealworm earlier. I'll send you both the video I sent Stefan. Very, very gentle. It's not like the African species at all. Kind of checked out the food, had a little sniff around and that, stabbed it, and then ate it.
No, see, that's what I love about the giant spinies. When you've got a few of them living together and you throw food in, it is like a bloodbath. It's absolute carnage.
Yeah, my one's like it's on crack sometimes. Like when I done the rehousing, I was so worried, and that, especially because I had the full size tripod. I was at arm's length trying to do this rehouse. I dropped the cork bark with the assassin bug on the cork bark, and then I had to take like 2 seconds to just like calm myself back down, take the cork bark out, put it in the new enclosure, then move the assassin over. And in the end, I tried to get the assassin to like run across and then run down the cork bark and then go into the enclosure, but it didn't want to play. So in the end, I just kind of inverted it and tapped on the side until it kind of, like, the second house went a lot better. I put it back in its original enclosure and then used some Bodleian branches just to give it a different appearance, the same as what the Cristatus has got.
Yeah.
And the secondary house went like smooth as butter. I literally just picked up the cork bark, moved it into its new enclosure, and it was like so easy. But I think it's because I wasn't filming. It was a lot more calm and focused.
Yeah.
I'm really getting to grips with it now, and I'm not twitchy and worrying and that anymore. I'm just enjoying it for what it is now.
Good.
Probably get in touch with Steve and try and get a communal going at some point.
Do it, mate. Do it.
Yeah, they're definitely an interesting thing to have, I must admit. As I say, even before I got into, most of this stuff now, I had white spotted assassin bugs. And I mean, they were great. They're exactly the same, they'd jump on prey whenever you chuck a load in. I mean, I had a communal, I think, of 6 originally is what I bought, and within about 18 months ish, between a year and 18 months, I suppose, I had about 30.
Yeah, I think Tony Webb's got a communal of about 60 at the moment. It's quite impressive seeing some of the stuff he sent over to me, but I don't think I'll go that far. I think I'll probably want to sell or humanely euthanize a few of them if it got that big. I really want to try and find a ghost assassin bug, the white spot morph where it's just black and white.
Yeah.
I think they're awesome, but they're so hard to come by apparently.
Well, Ian's just said there.
Yeah, I'd love to have a go with one of those, 1 or 2. They're not communal though, are they?
What, the Egyptian predatory beetles? Yeah, I think you can.
Yeah, I believe they are.
Yeah, they can.
Problem is, every time I see them come up, like very, very rarely see them come up, but when you do, they're quite expensive.
Yeah. But then millipedes are quite expensive, and I think Egyptian predatory beetles are probably more interesting than millipedes.
Well, I suppose it depends on what your idea of expensive is. I wouldn't class most of the species of millipedes that I see as being particularly expensive.
What the last time I saw the Egyptians, I thought they were about £12 each. But I might be mistaken.
But then, I mean, I paid £16 each for my blue death ray beetles.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
it depends on, like you say, on what your class is expensive, really. I mean, to me, they aren't, they're not the cheapest of things around, but they're by no means the most expensive thing to buy.
it's the quantity you want to get in it. I mean, you can buy one tarantula for like 150 quid, or you can buy a communal of blue death feigning beetles. But for people that just want to get like 5 beetles or something, you look at things like sun beetles and stuff like that, and you can get like a communal of them really easily for like a few quid. And then you look at the blue death feigning beetles, and you're spending like 50 quid or so to get 5 or 6 individuals. I think that's where it kind of comes down to it. It's the amount that you want to keep of it. You wouldn't really.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. I mean, we've got 6 of them, and I didn't even really. I mean, I bought 4 originally, and then added 2 later on. But I mean, I never even bat an eyelid when looking at them or anything. It was just like, I want them, so I was quite happy to pay that price for them. And it's the same with Egyptian predatory beetles. When they come around, I won't even really quibble the price as of such. It'll just be, I want 4 or 5 of them, and I'll just get them.
Yeah.
But it's like I was saying earlier. Now, when I buy my slings, if I buy a sling that is a species that I really want, now I'm trying to look at buying like 3 of that sling. So when you're looking at the price of things, it's sort of like it goes out the window. Then it's you buy what you want rather than how much it's going to cost.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's making sure you don't then go too far and can't get the butter and the bread for the table kind of thing, because it's very easy to, like, I if I didn't get a couple of other orders, I basically screwed myself this month. So luckily people came through and I've sorted it out. After I got
Oh,
my after I
yeah,
got
I'm
my
the same.
25 quid, and then luckily I got a couple of other bits come through. So
Yeah, I limit myself each month. No matter what happens, I do put a limit on it, and I say like that is it.
it's like
And if I spend it all in one go, then I spend it all in one go. But if I can space it out throughout the month, then
yeah, keeping invertebrates is like gambling. You set yourself your limit, and then occasionally you do end up just going that little bit further.
Yeah. Right, gents, I'm just going to grab a quick cup of coffee. I'll be back in a sec. And then we need to discuss what everyone's had for dinner. And we need to do our episode of what Stefan got in his cupboard.
I don't even know this week. He hasn't even shown me.
So yeah,
I've just done it.
2 minutes. I'll be back.
I've got this obsession with stroking my beard at the moment. I'm really sorry. I'll try and stop. I finally got live animal stickers, so I've gone up on my packing. It looks more professional now rather than just writing it in red pen.
there's nothing wrong with just writing it on there, as long as it's on there, I suppose.
Yeah, it's like with my air holes. I use my tongs. So my feeding tongs are like the right spacing that I just go between, and I just go along and it looks quite smart. But I'm getting to grips with packing and that now. It's kind of second nature now. I've got a couple of bits that I need to send out soon. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm slowly getting to that stage now where I feel a bit more confident on packing up teas and sending them off. But no matter what I've sent off, I've always sort of been concerned about it.
Yeah, I think it's different when you're putting it in a urine pot with paper and that. Like with the isopods, you basically just bung them in, put some moss on them. Depending on the species, you dampen it to whatever level. You close it up, you put it in the tub, put packing peanuts in, heat pack, close it, stickers, dress, off. And I think that's why I'm so kind of comfortable with it, because I'm not really worried too much. I know they're going to be okay because they're so bomb proof. Whereas spiderlings and spiders and that, there's always that it can go very wrong if it's not 100% done right. Even like a hard knock on the road, like as it's moving along.
Yeah.
So it's completely different in terms of like the packing and that. And if I got the communal of assassin dogs, I'd probably be in the same situation as you, where I'd be like worried about it until I get that message from the person. I got it. It's all good. Like it's still in the back of my mind, but I'm not worried about it as much because I've got faith in what I'm doing. But
I still even worry, even after that message. I'm like, what if it now dies in a week's time? What if it was something that but for me, it's just one of them things. I sit there and I do sort of think about it and worry about it a little bit. I know I shouldn't, but
the best thing about me and Stefan is we don't have to worry about that kind of thing because we're so close. We just he normally comes to me, pops over, have a chat at the doorstep, hand over the goods, and then off you go. Sounds a bit dodgy when you say it by that, but we're looking to arrange to go moss hunting soon anyway, when we get the weather sort of okay, because there's a wooded area where I've got a load of like rotten wood and everything, so we're hoping to meet up and do that at some point, so that could be quite good. Just chill in it, run around the forest. moss and shit. Look a bit
No,
mad.
I know that. I know those sorts of feelings. Generally, like as soon as I start running low, that's it. We go for a little walk, and I mean, I don't like doing it because obviously of how long moss takes to grow. But I ended up picking up like a huge clump of it, and it was like down here, and I basically put it up, and it was just like this big moss beard. And I'm, you know, if I can, I prefer taking little clumps here and there and bits rather than taking a whole section at a time.
Yeah, a really good thing is to try and sort of set it up in a tub and that. And if you get the tub set up properly, then you can grow it at home. Like I've grown on moss that I've collected and that. I've grown on sphagnum moss that I've got in the post and stuff. And you know, it does take a while, so you get an appreciation for like what you're actually taking away. But my mate gets a bit carried away. He turns into some weird fairy. He's like, it literally is like he's on drugs when he comes out with me. He's just hopping along, picking up these patches of moss, like chucking at me like snowballs and God knows what. It's like dog walkers just think we're on like mushrooms or something. To us out. Welcome back, Wayne.
Thank you. What have I missed?
Oh, I'm just talking about going out and collecting moss and wood and stuff.
The green stuff.
Ah, yes.
And talking about doing strange deals on the doorstep. You know, I'm not quite sure where he was going with all this, but
So what do we have for dinner, gents?
Should I start? I had stuff. There was a beef stir fry with like gingery stir fry sauce and stuff. It's quite nice.
Nice.
I had sausage, mash and peas with gravy.
Very traditional British dinner there, isn't it?
It was indeed.
Do you have Stefan?
I had nuggets and chips with the kids. I was a child.
I was going to say nuggets and kids.
Nuggets and kids.
Did they drive all that much?
That's where they are.
Change his house to a gingerbread house and start coaxing kids into his oven.
Where are my pants?
Oh.
When he's gone mad, he'll just put sliders on and never leave.
Can't do it yet. Where's the sign? Where's the introduction? Where's the sign that says what's in Stefan's cupboard?
The dog stole it.
The dog stole it.
Yeah, I've got to do another one.
So is this going to be free for me this week, is it?
I don't know what I'm in now.
Hang on, let me put you on full screen, buddy.
I was going to say, I'm surprised he hasn't got like a whiteboard that he's got on the front of the cupboard yet.
So there is something
behind Nutella.
Yeah, there's a spoon or a fork or something.
There's two things.
Oh.
I'll stop shaking it.
Well, that's definitely one of them.
Well, this is.
Yeah. And then we've got.
And
else?
then is that a wristband around one of the sauce pots there?
Yeah. Well spotted. Nicely done. Looks like one of Gav's.
I like the coordination. We've got 2 lads night ins in the corner and then 2 keeper cards.
Yeah, my lad's not in. One's in the wash at the minute.
I was wearing a black polo, but I changed just for the swim, but I had something related.
I like it.
Plus, my black polo is covered in silicone because I was sealing up a Viv like 2 hours ago.
So I just got to keep my eye on the dog. I've got sticks in that Viv there that is set into the expanding foam. The last thing I want it to do is think it's one he can run off with.
Oh, I made that the other day. I came back with a Sainsbury's bag full of rotten wood and moss. What do? I leave it in the back room and that, ready to go out into the greenhouse. All I get is a very angry message from Mum saying, "Can you move this bag of crap? Because the dog's just sent it all over the floor." Where's Angel tonight, Tom? Is she watching the telly? Or?
She's literally just walked in.
If you want to see what the Viv looks like, Wayne, I can send you over some pictures on Instagram.
Yeah, please do. It'd be nice to see.
How am I going to do this?
Anything exciting planned for the rest of this week?
3 houses. All of my new bugs.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Hey.
How you doing, Angel? You alright?
Yeah.
Good. So I did have Sarah sat with me a second ago. She won't let me put the camera on her, but she's just legged it now.
Yeah. So sorry.
So Angel said hello.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Hello. How are you? Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Good. Better now the shops are open. I went shopping today. It's amazing.
Oh, I don't even want to do that. I don't even want to do that.
She doesn't want to do it.
Oh no, it's great. I even went to Matalan. They've got a sale on. I didn't tell you that, did I?
I'll tell you what, I had the most fun shopping experience last night because of this Viv build. Basically, last night or the night before, I was ordering everything, so I got sent all of this money to pay for it all, and then I went on the Reptile website and I'm like, add. Whatever.
Easier with that, right?
Great spending other people's money, isn't
Yeah.
it?
It's like half the budget, really. It was like the best.
Yeah, so much less painful than spending your own.
Spend, for God's sake, acting.
Still my James.
Dog's getting a little bit overexcited. Get away from those sticks.
Out.
Get out. Look at that monster.
He nearly did it then. He was about to have one of them away.
I had a big box of driftwood
Oh, cool.
that I got off Facebook.
Which
I
is
had to
just
put it up
a
higher.
it's still got to paint them all and everything else.
Good.
But that's that. And it's like, well,
I ain't wearing my glasses.
How's your arm now, Cora?
How's your finger?
Oh yeah, it's fine now. It hurt for a little while afterwards, but it's fine. It's just a bite.
Yeah, my finger's healing up quite well. She was bit by a leopard gecko, fully savage. Yeah,
They hurt.
it's my old leopard gecko as well. So we broke up, and then like a week later, my old leopard gecko goes and takes a chunk out of her hand. We're on good terms though. We're still talking and that. So. I didn't really know what to do at the time. She just sent me a picture like, your gecko just bit me.
That's karma, that is.
Yeah. Right, I'm off to Tesco's.
Okie dokie.
See you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
See you later, guys.
See you later, Sarah. Well, unfortunately, I think I'm just about ready to call it for this evening.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much the only people in the chat as well at the moment. I don't know. I think Ian's still there, but
I've bored everyone to death.
no. James has got quite a big following on here, and the nights that James isn't able to come on, we always lose a few.
What's he up to today? Or is it personal reasons?
Hello, Alex. Just had another one join. No, he's been out getting some bits and pieces from IKEA today. So I imagine he's probably buried under a mountain of furniture that he's trying to put together and get that set up, because he's just done a massive move around and stuff in his animal room. So,
well, with what he was saying that he had got, maybe he's still trying to unload it from the car.
yeah. I want to know how he's managed to get it in the car. He doesn't drive the biggest car in the world.
No, that's why he's not here, because he's still doing trips backwards and forwards to pick pieces up. Getting about 6 doors in at a time.
I left the missus stood outside IKEA with a pile of stuff while he's doing runs backwards and forwards to the house.
I'll bring you back a coffee, love. Don't worry.
I can't stand IKEA. I think their flat packs are really high quality, but because they're really high quality, they're a pain in the arse to put together, so it takes away the fun of it.
See, I like
this. They just stick it in, put it together, twist it, and done.
I'm just biased when it comes to IKEA. I'm a qualified carpenter and joiner. So yeah, IKEA furniture stole my living.
It's not even that. It's when you take a woman in IKEA and then all of a sudden you're in there for like 4 hours. Like even just like mum and dad, it's like, can we go home yet? Like 4 hours.
No, see, once upon a time as a chippy, people used to hire you to come to their house and build bits of furniture, you know, and things like that. And ever since like IKEA's taken off and flat pack furniture's taken off, it put a lot of us out of work.
Yeah.
Because you can't compete price wise. The amount it costs to get a carpenter to come and build a bespoke bit of furniture, you can buy 5 or 6 of the same thing from IKEA for the same price.
Yeah, my mate did carpentry at college and he's been trying to look for an apprenticeship and that for well over a year now, and they either come along but they're a little bit, or you just can't find them really.
Yeah.
But, most of it is door hanging now, isn't it? In carpentry, just can you hang this door for me? Can you put this door frame on? And then the rest of it is
site work. Well, that's what I started doing. So I did my level 1 and 2, and then started working on building sites, doing standard like joist work and framing and, you know, scarf joints and all sorts of crap stuff like that. And I really didn't enjoy it. It was monotonous. It was boring. It was big, heavy, rough work, and I like the creative side of carpentry. So I went back to college to do my level 3 in cabinet making and restoration of antique furniture. So that's what I actually started doing when I left college qualified. I started doing private work, restoring antique furniture like staircases and stuff like that in old listed buildings, and building bespoke pieces of furniture for people. But like I said, there's not a lot of money in it. And 9 out of 10 people that want stuff will go and buy prefabricated flat pack furniture.
Yeah, or they'll buy it from a mass-produced, bespoke, like fair type thing.
Yeah.
But I like the artistic side of carpentry, like the Japanese dovetails and the real fancy, intricate stuff. Like me and my mate, we set up to do an impossible table. You know, the tensegrity where you have the tension in the middle sets the tension on the outside and it looks like it's floating.
Yeah.
really complicated stuff, but we got it to work, and then it broke, and we couldn't be asked to mess it up another 3 hours. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get off.
Okay,
So I'll
buddy.
fall asleep.
Good to see you again, Tom.
Right.
You have a good night's
Thanks,
sleep
you two.
and have a good day tomorrow.
Cheers. I'll try not to get up so early.
Have a layer, mate. You deserve it.
Yeah, I've got a lay until just gone 6, so that's great.
That's not a lay-in.
I know.
Sarah said she had a lay-in today, 11:30.
What's that? What's that? Right, brilliant. I shall see you all next week, I suppose.
I'll see you next week, mate. Take care.
Oh,
Ta-da. Ian's off as well. Good night, Ian. Thanks for joining us, buddy. Gents, I'm going to call it a night as well because I haven't had anything to eat yet. And like I say, we're down to pretty much just the 3 of us in the chat at the minute. So we'll end a little bit early this evening. Thank you very much for jumping on. Stefan, always a pleasure to see what's in your cupboard, mate. Let us know what you want to do about that hoodie as well, because I need to get this source sent off to you. But if you're gonna order a hoodie, then I'll do it all in one go rather than sending it through separately. But give us a shout out, and yeah.
Hey,
Scott?
if you've got the V2 there, if you give me a price in that, I'll send it over when I can, probably tomorrow, and just add it to Stefan's order when you ship it. So I'll be able to, but I'd quite like some more of that.
Saving yourself some postage there, mate. I like the way you think. Yes, mate. I've got a little bit of the V2 left, but it's only in small sample bottles. So I will send you a sample bottle. There's not a lot in it, but I'll send you a sample bottle. You can have that for free, and I'll add it to Stefan's stuff. All right.
Good.
No worries, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure. Enjoy the rest of your week, Stefan. Have fun spending your £100 winnings off your scratch card.
Don't worry.
And, yeah. So your order now, Stefan, because obviously V3 is ready to go. So I've got that piece that I've got to send you. There's also a bottle of V3 for you as well. So
I'm not trying any of that pure shit.
oh, you got to do it. You got to do it. I had a friend from work pop over, and he's from the Philippines, and they live on spicy food in like the Philippines and Indonesia and stuff like that. So I said to him like, "Oh, you like your spicy food? Have a taste of this," and let him just have a little taste of the pure stuff, and it nearly put him on his backside. So he couldn't
I'm
speak.
looking forward to it.
He couldn't speak. And he was doing that thing where he was trying to keep a brave face, but you could see every bead of sweat just start to develop on his forehead.
Yeah, the eyes were just going bloodshot,
Like squeak at his voice every time he tried to speak. Yeah, it was good stuff. So I think you're going to enjoy this batch. Right, guys. Thanks very much for coming on, and we'll see you again next week. I look forward to seeing the pictures of the Vivs, mate.
Yeah, I've sent them over to you. So
I'll check now. I haven't looked at the phone. I'll have a look now. I'll catch you later.
yeah, see you later.
Night.
Bye.